Man, you supposed to left that.
Yeah, but that's what he told me. He said, "All right, man.
Hey, don't worry.
Look, man.
All the dudes got left.
So I want to go ahead and welcome Joe to a new episode of You Have a Collect Call From, and this is an update. One of our viewers, I don't recall the name, asked me what's up with Big Joe, what's up with an update. So the man, yeah, you're right. I definitely been slipping on Joe. I have not followed up with him and see and to check out where he's at on his journey. I know maybe this will be somebody's first time watching this video. So can you go ahead and introduce yourself, Joe, and give him like a little introduction and who you are, where you went, and where you're currently at right now.
Yeah, my name's Joe. I did 27 years in state prison. I got out. I was a juvenile lifer. I got arrested at 17. I did 27 years and got out when I was 45 years old. And I've been out for the past 3 months.
When I was driving over here, I'm like thinking, hold on, how much time did Joe do? 23, 24? And I was like, fuck, I was like, shit, I think he did 27 years. It's kind of hard, hearing that number, being in prison that long, it's kind of hard to wrap that around your head, because it is a large chunk of your life that you spent, behind bars. I'm sure, like when you reflect on like your life, and like a lot of that is always going to draw you back to prison, because a lot of experiences that you had were in prison.
I'm not sure what the question, where you want to take it.
Yeah, it wasn't a question. I was just wanted to yeah. So like me, like like when I was in my 20s, I was on on the streets, I was working and living with my mom, and then you, like, obviously in another shoe, you were in prison. You were going through those things, going through prison situations and whatnot. Let me ask you, is there anything in prison that you miss?
I will say no, but there's one thing that will be a lie. I miss the individuals in prison. I miss the friends I made in prison, because they're still in there and they're still trying to get out. And I just recently had a friend get a denial. Went to board the second time, got the denial. And that was crushing to me, because I know how, I don't want to say how hard he worked, because he already passed that level. Like, he is there. He'll never commit a crime again. And I feel that for him, that denial, because I can only imagine what he feels, because I know what I felt. The day before my second board, I was like, that's it, man. They denied me, that's it. I'm done tomorrow, And those are genuine, I was genuinely saying that. Now, I know I wouldn't have did it, because I came so far to get out. I'm not going to do that, but that's how I felt. That's how I feel like I ain't got no more time to give the state. Like, it's just over, it's done. So I know he's going through it right now. Yeah, I miss the friends and the friendships that were built. And after coming home, I do everything I can to try to make sure the rest of them come home. Everybody in prison with a life sentence, I'm out here doing the most for you guys, whether I know you or not, to come home.
And right now, you mentioned your buddy that was recently denied. When somebody's denied, what's the best way, either a friend, family member, or loved one, how can they show support and help that person get through that moment? I
don't know, because when I got denied, nobody could do nothing for me. Like, no matter what it was, you lose interest. You're just like in a zone, because you feel like everything you did was pointless. You done so much, and they just said you ain't even there, and you're there. In your mind, in your heart, you're there. Let me out, I'll never commit another crime again. But for whatever reasons, they let out too many people this month. They let out too many people this week. They got a number. They don't want to succeed this year. You're a clean candidate next year, but today, no. You feel that. And it's hard. The homie that got denied, I sent him a gang of videos and a gang of pictures. I don't think that made him feel good, but I still did it because I know how bad he feels. I sent him all kinds of videos. All my videos now are like 30 seconds. It seems like all the pictures and videos I do, they're not even for me. They're for everybody back in prison. That's all I send them to. I take them, 30-second videos, send them on the GTL, and I sent him a gang of 4th of July firecrackers. From the daytime when it was turning night to the nighttime to the freeway to everything popping around, like that's what I sent them. I sent him. But I don't know if there's anything to do, you know. I would definitely not say disappear or you know, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're present because it's hard. It's hard for that man in jail or that woman in jail who got a denial, especially if they've been kicking butt to come home. Because now they feel like it's all worthless. You know, they feel like, damn, I knew I was never gonna get out. Because that's how I felt. I felt like, yeah, everyone's getting out, I see it, but I'm not gonna be one of them. I know me good enough to know I'm not gonna be one of them. The laws are gonna change, the door's gonna close, and I'm gonna be stuck in here, and everyone's gonna get out. That's how I felt, personally.
And so you mentioned a moment ago that on the first time you went, you were denied and you felt that you were ready to go. But reflecting on that now, in between that time from you getting denied the first time to getting a grant on the second time around, do you feel like you learned anything within that period that you hadn't learned you know, previous to getting denied? Absolutely.
I learned a whole lot, right? I learned a whole lot with different individuals. It wasn't groups, because the groups I had been doing it for years. It was certain individuals at Centinela State Prison that really opened my eyes, right? But to me, they were next level. They were on some stuff that nobody was on. So yeah, I learned a whole lot. But even with that, even learning a whole lot and even knowing things I didn't know previous, I still feel like I was ready to go at my first board hearing. And if we take the first board hearing away, I still feel like I was ready to go in 2010. Like, I didn't know the things I knew in the future, but I know this. I couldn't explain what the board wanted me to explain. But I know when you're a little kid and you put your hand in the flame and you feel the fire, you feel it and you don't do it again because you know what it feels like. Well, that's me in 2010. But the board don't care about that. So they want to know how many degrees did you burn, how many layers of skin before you say ouch, how many seconds, minutes before you put ice on it. Like, I didn't know those answers back then. But I didn't need those. I didn't need a lot of that to know I was never going to put my hand in that fire. Like, as a lifer, you got to do a lot to be able to retain information and to be able to articulate it in a boardroom that no other human on earth has to do. We have to do it, and I know we done things that no other human has done either. But I guess those are the processes and those are the things you have to do to get out from board. But the door's open, guys. The door is open. Do what you have to do, anchor down, do it and get out. Because when you're in there, you're trying to get out and you want to get out, you don't even know what you're fighting for. Because when you come out here, this world is so much bigger, so much beautiful than we ever imagined. You know, I love every day of my life out here. You know?
And let me ask you, and because at one point in your prison journey, you were in it. You know, you were knee deep in it, and do you remember that day that you had that pivotal point or pivotal moment in your life when you decided, like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want to be here for the rest of my life. I want to go home.
Well, that moment is broken up in stages too, guys, because when the law changes in 2014, I know clearly I shifted, right? I was still breaking the law, like in every which way, right? But mentality-wise, I shifted. I said, you know what? I did everything I could for a negative lifestyle. And now I'm gonna do that same energy, I'm gonna do it to come home, right? But it came in stages. So since 2014, I've been, I got rid of my phone and I was addicted to phones, you know? But even that part was like half in and half out because They told us you get busted with a phone, it's 5-year denial. I came back to the cell, told my cellmate, hey, I'm getting rid of the phone. He was gonna call his people and be like, hey, goodbye, we're not gonna have the phone. I was like, no, fool, we're gonna have the phone, but we're just not gonna have the phone, you know what I mean? So I got rid of the phone. I sold a share to like 5 a.m. to like, I think it was 10 a.m. I took a couple hundred for that, took like 500 for that, so they get it every day, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Took 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. It took like 400 from them for that every day. And then the 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. I took like another 500-600, and they'll get it every day from 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it was in rotation. And one of these guys, I put 3 cells in it, and one of them, like, I guess it was too much, so they cut it without telling me. They put another homie cell in there, so they split that, but I didn't care. I just didn't want it in my cell. So at 7 p.m., the cops didn't search in the certain prison I was at. So I will bring it back, and I will use it every night. But that was the first step of me telling myself, like, I'm not gonna get busted with this phone. That was me taking protocol. I'm not gonna get busted with this phone. Now, eventually I get to a point where I'm like, fuck it. It is what it is. Sacrifice these years, because in a little bit, you'll be able to buy 20 phones. What you want, a phone for the rest of your life, or you want the luxuries of being out here with everything that comes in it, Like, look at this shit. This shit is worthless. It's sand. But you can't do that in prison. You can't do that shit. All the joys in life are priceless. Like, you only buy certain things. You buy McDonald's, you buy Jack in the Box. Like, all the good memories are free. But yeah. 2014. That's when I shifted half-ass, but I shifted.
And those are, you know what? And now that I think about it, those are the things you couldn't share with me.
In there, yeah. Absolutely. You can't share that shit, because the boy's gonna be like, what? Like, this motherfucker criminal thinking, master. Oh, man. We're just trying to come home. We're just human. At the end of the day, we're just human. We're trying to come home. All of us are full of flaws, Yeah. There's dudes that never put that fucking phone down. I tip my hat to them, lucky ass motherfucker, but I wasn't willing to take that risk. I wasn't willing to gamble that shit. So I had to get to a point where I didn't even touch a fucking phone. And then when you gave us the tablets, voila, like, it made it easier on me. Really don't gotta touch one. This is all I want. A conversation every day, call who I want, text who I want, and we get video visits. Like, yeah, the phones were out. I honestly thought the phone business was gonna be dead right there.
And
you gonna pay me to have a phone after we got the tablets.
Hold on, Joe. All right, we're back. So yeah, I remember having those conversations with you. I remember you had a lot of, we had a lot of conversations over a lot of days. I lost track of how many calls, we had, back in December of 2023, and throughout, up until the point that you eventually ended up, coming home. But, some of the things that do stick out to me that you did mention on your journey was, that point when you give up your phone, and then also when your wife, her son, ended up, going through his thing, with cancer, and that was another point that
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was strong as hell to me too. Strong point.
And then, when you go through, things like that, you're human. It's like it just shows that no matter how many things you do, there's certain things that'll still affect you in a certain way, and certain things affect you to do negative things, and there's other things that'll affect you to do positive things, and those were hearing about the cell phones helped you make that decision, and navigate and change the way that you thought, and ultimately you made some other decisions where you decided to walk away, and here we are later. I know you mentioned in 4 short years you're able to walk out, and look at it. We're here at the beach. We're here in lovely Southern California, and I appreciate making out that drive from Riverside out here, to meet up with me and share a little bit more of your journey. And one of the reasons that I am doing this, and I find it important, to meet up with gentlemen like you or David and Jesse that are still behind the walls, is because maybe that person that needs to hear this, maybe they'll come across this video and it'll spark something in their mind, either to change their life, or even if it doesn't even have to be somebody that's involved in negative things, but if there's somebody in the community that has like maybe a nephew, son, or a friend or whatever, they could sit down and talk to them and at least try. I know at a certain point in my life you could tell me whatever you wanted to tell me and it wasn't going to change me, no matter what. But maybe you'll speak to that one person that will, that they'll take that into consideration.
Not only that, the more information we know, the better equipped we are to make decisions, right? Because when you lack knowledge or you lack education on anything, when I started, I'm gonna say when I started being a criminal, dang, that's a big plane, boy. That's bigger than my arm. Fucking plane is so big.
Get that
Get that.
Let me see what we got right there. Where is it?
It's getting smaller now, ladies and gentlemen, but that thing was big.
But I got that zoom in. I got it right here. I got it as United Airlines. And you know what? I did that just to kind of show you guys exactly where we're at and what's kind of happening behind us. We're here at the beach, and look, we're having this conversation right here. You guys can't see them, but I got my wife and my daughter right here on the right to me, and my wife and daughter are just enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
So,
what was I talking about? Education?
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say when I started like being a criminal, right? There was educational moments right there. I remember a dude, old school dude, probably like in his 50s, shouldn't have been around us, We were probably like 11-year-old, a bunch of 11-year-olds with one 50-year-old man, right? And he's telling us like, the cops are gonna get you and they're gonna tell you that your friend told on you. But he says that so you could say, oh no, that's not the story, this is a story. So we learned that, but that's educational. So now that I know, I'm like, okay, I'm drawn to it more. I'm okay, let's go. So when the cops, hey, fool, he said, man, he's saying that to say this, stupid. Oh, okay, makes sense. Like you're teaching other little kids that weren't there for that conversation, right? You get taught how to steal a car. You didn't have that education before. So you get taught how to steal a car, and next thing you know, you're stealing a car, and you're like, damn, that shit's dope. And you're teaching another person how to steal a car. So you're learning. But when we're learning on the other spectrum, James just said about changing a life or this or that, right? But when you're seeing education and you're getting information for what it is, it helps you better decide, or it helps you better make your choice, Whether you're gonna steal a car or not, whether you're gonna do something or not, it gives you a better format to read, because we didn't have the formats when I was younger. We had all the negative criminal ones. Look where we ended up. Look at where I ended up. I followed those patterns. I followed that format to the system, but I didn't have no opposite knowledge of that, And I think knowledge is crucial, because when we're changing now, me and all my peers that have got out and everything, right? It's only because of the knowledge that we learned. So I don't know how to say it. Like, politicians break laws too, I get it. But the smarter you are at things, the more likely you're not gonna break the laws like that. And even if you do break the laws, right? The more smarter you are, you're like, well, let me break that law, because that law carries this much time and this much profit, So I don't care who says what, negative, positive information helps. It helps everybody.
You know what? And right now that you mentioned that, you're absolutely right. With education, I think that in schools, that's one of the things that they should focus on, or at least have a class on.
Criminality, teaching us consequences and laws, and what laws do what, because even if you're a criminal, you will be a good criminal if you knew the format of the law system, because you'll be like, nah, I ain't doing that, I'm doing this one. You dummies do that one. If I get busted, I'm only getting this much time. So I'm not promoting criminality. I'm just saying the more you know, the better you decide And the more you know, I would think the better you decide means the better you decide. You know, you're not gonna decide something that's gonna hurt your family or hurt your mom or, you know, kill her in the long run because you got a life sentence. That's what I'm trying to say.
And you know, and I'm gonna go ahead and touch on a moment that I have. You know, when I was younger, there was certain things that I would avoid doing. Would be engaging in any type of violence. I knew that would get me, you know, sentenced to YA. Selling any type of narcotics, or even getting into G rides, because you know that could, you know, somehow, you know, you let's say you get in a high-speed police chase and something goes wrong. You know, you easy way to get to YA. So. I knew those basics, you know, back then, and there were certain things that I wouldn't do just because I didn't want to end up in YA, you know, like YA, I wasn't cut out for YA. So I think if in schools they would have a class and they would tell them, hey, like if you carry a gun, you carry between this and that, you know, and if the feds pick it up, you're gonna have a mandatory minimum of 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I think somebody might, you know, stop and think about it twice. There might be others that they just don't care because they can't see, you know, 10 years down the line.
I heard a verse when I was a little kid. It was off of DJ Quick, Second to None, and them. Some dude named Player Ham. Penthouse Players was the name of the CD, I think. And Player Ham, on one of his verses, he said, "We do crime, but our crime pays." That shit stuck in my head. And when all my homies started stealing cars, when they taught me, I won't steal it to drive it. I stole it for the rims. I stole it for the system. I made a business out of it. Because of that verse, because of the knowledge that I heard, because of the influence the verse had on me. The more you know, the better off you are, no matter what. You know, boys, girls, teens, adults. It's just a fact. I'm not talking about knowledge of school and history and science. Ain't nobody talking about that. I'm just saying the more knowledge, the more educated you are in a specific subject, the more you're gonna make better decisions about it. You know, like James with his camera. You think if he didn't have no knowledge, this film would probably be all distorted and all cracked out and all, right? But he knows what camera to get. He knows, at least he knows, like, okay, let me get this camera because it's the cheapest money I can spend, but it's the highest quality I can get. You start somewhere. When you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing. You're over here walking with a frame, there's no camera, you're like, oh man, I could have took a picture of that. I could have made a movie, right? That's what I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm gonna change the subject because, you know, when I was driving over here, sometimes you know, my wife, you know, she'll watch the videos and then, you know, she'll give me her perspective on it, or she'll ask me a question like, hey, why is this and why is that? So one thing we were talking about, you know, while we were driving over here was, you know, cell phones. Yeah. So then she was like, how's Joe gonna? She was like, hey, how's Joe gonna get to? How is he gonna get to the beach? Like he's using a navigation app. I was like, you know what? To be honest with you, I'm not sure, but I know. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I know Joe, you know, even while he was incarcerated, you know, he did have a cell phone. So I'm sure he knows how to navigate a little bit more than you know, the normal individual, maybe that was on a level 2 or level 1 or a camp. But and then I also mentioned, Joe, like, but you got to remember also that they got the tablets now, so the tablets are getting them ready to for you know, to be able to use phones. Yeah,
the tablets are getting. I will say yes and no. At least they're touching something. Because if you're in prison and you never had a cell phone, I think something's odd right there. I think something's off right there, because I'm not promoting cell phone use in prison, but I'm saying, like, you should have touched one here or there or got familiar with it here or there, right? But if you haven't, at least the tablet's doing something for you. But when you have a phone, you can Google everything. Everybody knows what Google Maps looks like. Everybody looked at the prison they were at. Everybody looked at the childhood house they were at. Like, we all did that, right? Yeah, these planes are getting closer, boy, my life's in danger. It's about to fall on me right now. But hey, guys, they got a map. They got, just for the people in prison still, they got one of these apps called Waze. You're on the freeway, it'd be like, officer detected 2 miles ahead. Okay, you know. So I thought that was cool. It tells you where the cops are, like, so you stop speeding and stuff like that.
Yeah, I use it, and I'm always posting up, you know, if I see a speed trap or whatever, I always, you know, give the people the heads up because I know it helps me out, while I'm driving. I'm not trying to get a ticket right now, especially right now in California. The gas is ridiculous right now. Everything's expensive. And on top of that, they're gonna give me a ticket, and then my insurance is gonna go through the roof. You know what? I know. Speaking of insurance and having a car, and that's another conversation we're having with my wife. I was like, Joe, he's whipping now. And then she was like, does he have a driver license? I was like, well, shit, I hope so, because he doesn't wanna, So how easy was it for you to get your driver license?
That's a good question. I'm glad you bring that up. Remember, guys, I'm in a house and it got so many men in it. And there's houses all over Southern California like this, in every county. They're just packed, right, with ex-lifers, right? I went to the DMV and I didn't study. I didn't study for the written test. But that's because I didn't have no time. I'm so busy. I'm like doing this, doing that. It's like a lot going on. And this is when I didn't even have a car. I'm on the bus. I'm everywhere. These are my yard dogs, guys. These guys, I've had them since I got out. 2 days after I got out. These are the shoes that I fuck up. They were with me on the buses, on the road. I didn't mess up none of my other shoes. I was like, until I get a car, I ain't wearing them. These are the yard dogs. That's why they're in the sand with me right now at the beach. I went to the DMV. I didn't study, and I was like, damn it, I was mad at myself. I was like, I should have studied. I know I'm gonna fail. I went there. Matter of fact, I went on a bike. I went on the bike James gave me. Boom, 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 hauling it. Got there. I studied the booklet my friend gave me maybe like a month ahead of time. I didn't study it the whole time. I pulled it out. I got like an hour in my mind. I got, hurry, beat them. I'm flipping through the pages. I'm trying to memorize things. I'm looking at pictures. Then I get interrupted. Hey, if they ask you this, okay, cool. And then another person, hey, so they take me away from the book a little bit, and they're giving me game on what to say and what not to. And then next thing you know, I'm in there. And I'm so nervous, and I'm clicking, and I'm clicking, and I'm clicking, and I'm like, damn, I probably missed so many of them already, right? And then that click, and it turns red. It's like, you got this wrong. And I'm like, hell yeah, I only got one wrong. I thought I got like 10 of them wrong already, right? So now I knew I only had one wrong. I keep going. I get another one wrong, real easy one. I get it wrong, and I'm mad at myself. I'm like, stupid. I don't even know how many you could get wrong. I keep going, and before I know it, I'm nervous. I'm ready for my next wrong, and it's over. And I pass getting 2 wrong. And I'm like, hell yeah. Well, my hell yeah came hell yeah to me. But other guys in the house, they didn't pass, bro. They went and flunked out and came back and told everyone they flunked out. Go in again, flunked out, came back. And, multiple people had flunked the written test. I passed it with 2 wrong questions. So when I do that, they tell me you can't apply for a driver's license. You gotta wait 24 hours. I'm like, cool. I think I'm gonna get the license ASAP. I apply, and the license, they're like, the appointment's so far away. And I'm like, shit. So I waited long days, almost a month. Got up in there. I got YouTube. I YouTubed the route. I said, okay, I could do this. I drove the route 2 times. I said, I'm ready. Boom, got in there at my appointment time. Driver takes me, the route goes left. Driver says, go right. I'm like, shit, in my mind, panic. I'm like, fuck, this fool's onto me. I mean, he's onto all of us if he's going right. And the instructor was like, this is the way they take you. So he took me. We did a couple of turns here and there. He dinged me 6 times, no majors. You passed. Here's your license. And 2 weeks later, it came in the mail. So that's yeah, I got a license.
And then as far as
Hey, that felt good, James. Let me tell him, that felt great to get my license, because I thought the only feeling I would have is come home, get free, and you feel good. But the more I live out here, the more of those moments I'm having. Even something small as a license, it felt good. It felt good to get my permit, my name on a piece of paper. If a cop pulled me over, I could pull it out of my wallet and like, here you go. They got the license. I'm you know what I mean? It feels good. It feels good to do things like that.
And you know what? And having like a W, that would be considered a W. To somebody be like, he just got a driver's license. But for somebody like you, that you've been away so long, just those little things, everything's been a battle. Getting your ID. It took you like a month to get.
Yeah. It took me over a month to get my social, fix my social. So I was behind. I was behind in the aspect of that. And once I got the social, I got the ID. And once I got the ID, I got the GR. Once I got the GR, I got the bank account. And then came the permit. Then came the license. Then came the credit card. Like it's been going. For me, it don't feel like a great big old master accomplishment. It don't feel like that. It feels like normal. Like okay, I knew this was coming. This is just, it takes time to get here, right? So I'm not all excited, but at the same time, when you got the car and you could go, you feel freedom again. Because remember, all this time I was on the bus. I learned all the bus routes. I learned all the bike routes. There's so many bike routes in Southern California, you wouldn't even know unless you research it. But they're all over. I went through them all. I put miles on that bike. I took that bike one day for 50 miles. That's what a car does. One day I took that bike for 50 miles straight. Another day I took it for 30 miles straight. That bike's been everywhere. My feet been everywhere. And for some odd reason, I'm proud of that too, you know? But now I ain't tripping, I got a car. Get up, turn that bad boy on, take off, put the AC on. It's cold, I don't care. Put it on just cause I can put it on. But it feels good now, you know? It feels like I'm right where I'm supposed to be, you know? And I ain't there yet. I always say like, that's off camera, but we getting there. We're gonna get there soon.
And you know what? And having a car, it makes your life a lot easier. You know, whether you have to go on an appointment, interview, meet up with somebody or whatever. You know, you don't have to rely on the bus. You know, like I gotta leave the house at this time because I gotta catch this bus.
Yeah, you don't gotta leave 2 hours ahead of time no more. I ain't gotta do that shit. I was leaving 2 hours ahead of time sometimes. So, man, I won't even say, but some of them bus rides they take like real long. And long to get over there, and then you got to be where you're going to be at, and then long to get back. It's like, come on, man. But now continue, James. We don't got to do that no more.
That's right. It's life-changing. So, my next question is because, a lot of people are anticipating, their loved ones coming on. Somebody, somebody's wife might be watching this, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's mom, somebody's son. So they want to help, their people, come back into society and ease in as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
So another thing when getting a car, you have to get insurance. And you, I believe, if I'm correct, you've never had an ID prior to that. You were living off the grid.
Oh boy, I was trying to be young El Chapo. You know what I'm saying? We don't do those things. Yeah, I got insurance already. And when I came out, they were like, you're like invisible out here. We don't even know who the hell you are. So the social, I was definitely off the grid.
So like as far as insurance, are they getting you like on the, as far as like the price wise? Do you have like a major like Geico Progressive or did you shop around? How did you go about doing that? Did you do that on your own? Did somebody help you out?
So what I did, guys, I told somebody to add me on the insurance, and my insurance for me and the car is like $60 a month, dirt cheap. But if you get it yourself, see, you're so new, they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I can only assume they're gonna ding you because they know your ass ain't been driving. They know we ain't been. They're like, who is this guy? Like when I did the credit card, the lady was like, I could see her face, like millions of thoughts. Where's this fool at? No past history, so she's like, where's the last place? I'm like, come here. I just did 27 years in prison since I was, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, and it's like, I'm happy you're out. Fuck, I was tripping. I'm looking at your shit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with this fool? Because they know on the computer. We've been gone that long that they know we don't look normal at all. We look completely off we look off. When they look at us on the computer, they're trying to figure it out because they ain't seen us, maybe. They ain't done one of us before. So when they get us, we look strange as hell to them. We probably look like an Al-Qaeda bomber or something. They're like, what the fuck is this fool? But when I don't care, I just be telling them. And then it clears everything up for them, and then they can help me the appropriate way, like, okay, we're gonna help you do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it. Thank you, I appreciate that, But yeah, I'm just honest with mine. I don't even care. Yeah. So hey, how you doing, bro?
What's up, man? You guys are filming?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's how my experience went.
So that's what I was thinking. That's pretty smart. And that's cool that you had somebody out there that was really help you out, give you a hand.
All of them. That was the credit card. When I did the bank, I had some little youngster. Fool looked like 18 years old. He's probably like 22, 24, maybe 26. He's doing the same thing, and I tell him, hey, this is, what I mean? I'm not a good liar. This is what it is. That fool's like, what? That fool, big old cheesy smile, cutting it up with me. He's like, look, fool, we're gonna take care of you right here. Da-da-da-da, I'm happy you're out. Like, these people don't even know me. But everyone you share that with, they're just like, man, I'm so happy you're out. You know what I mean? They don't even care to ask what you did. They just know, like as a human, they probably feel like, damn, nobody should do that time, Yeah.
Man, and you've been, I would say that you've been very fortunate, with the support that you've had, from family members. You got your wife, and you got your sisters, and you got a lot of people behind you, and a lot of people in your situation, they don't have people. So you've been very, very fortunate in my eyes.
Yeah. You know what? We talked about that. Not my family and not my wife. I had this conversation with a bunch of friends, and I got so many friends from my childhood that are supportive and will help too, right? But as humans as we are, one thing comes up when we talked about it. It's like, you were always a good person, You weren't a scallywag, you weren't a scumbag. We had to cut loose, like so-and-so, we don't even mess with him no more. Oh boy, nobody even messes with him no more. So people, in life in general, people that never have went to prison cut themselves out of the circle, because of whatever reasons, And at least with my life, people don't feel that way about me, People feel like you were day one since day one. And we loved you then, we love you now, we love you always, So that's without my family or wifey in the picture. That's just friends, And that's like a long, big old strong support network. And I'll say this too. Take the friends out of it too. People I've met fairly recently, people I've never known in my life, they're trying to help me out so much right now, And when I was in prison, they were strangers to me. Like, I didn't even know these people. So those people see a quality in you too. So, maybe people that don't have support in prison, like, tomorrow's always a new day. I don't care what anyone says. Tomorrow's always a new day. And you're taking these self-help classes and you're doing all this and that. Well, if you have had these kind of problems in the past, I would think you would want to invest some time in yourself. That way when people meet you, they want to help you too. Because for me, it's effortless. I'm not doing nothing different. I'm just doing what I've done my whole life. But whatever that is, they appreciate it, Appreciate it to the point where they're trying to help me when they don't have to help me, That's what I'll say about that. For me and for other people in general, like, I would think if I wasn't so liked or so people didn't offer help, because they're offering help left and right. If people didn't offer help, I would like question why I'm not getting that and guy A and guy B are getting that, And how could I change that? Because there's all kinds of people that want to help you out here.
Yeah. I think you hit a good point right there. Yeah, you got to look within, to improve yourself. Maybe you're not talking enough. Maybe you're standoffish. So it might be putting some roadblocks. So always working on yourself and communicating with people and maybe smiling. It'll help you out. You know what? And I want to ask you another thing. So recently, I went to visit one of my buddies. He's in prison, and finally I made it through the gauntlet of hoops or roadblocks they put in front of you, to get in prison, because they don't make it easy. You get there, then they tell you can't wear this, you can't put that on, you can't have shorts, you can't have a dress, you can't your dress has to be longer than above your knees, and you see people just getting picked off. Like, damn, that sucks. They who knows where they drove. They drove from 2, 3, 4 hours, to come see their people. And finally, I thought I wasn't gonna get in. They said, hey, it's count time. You gotta come back at this time, and then it's not guaranteed you're gonna be getting in. So I go back, boom. So it was me, my wife, and my 2 daughters. So everybody's getting picked off. My wife got picked off first, then my daughter got picked off, then my baby got picked off. So, and it's just me, last man standing. I'm
surprised they didn't pick him out with a brocha. Hit the alarm. This was trying to come back in.
Oh, hey, that's why it's short right now, because I took it out because I didn't want them, to pick on me because of that. Yeah. So finally I make it. I'm in the facility. I walk in the gate and the door closes. And then the first thing that crosses my mind, I was like, you know what? I was like, man, this is what my mom had to go through. When I was in camp. When I was in the halls, I was in county jail. I was like, fuck, man, I put my mom through this shit, and I was like, and that's something I never thought about, like what I would put my mom through, to go visit me to these places. And then the next thing that thought in my mind, I was like, fuck, these people that have their loved ones, their wives, their girlfriends, their daughters, their kids, coming to the facilities, they don't know what they're what your family is going through, just to get there. That's not including, waking up early, pumping gas in your car, getting a hotel, and then going to the facility, having these cops talk to them all crazy, treating them a certain way. Then the clothes thing and the makeup and their ass might be too big and yeah. So, you know what? And the reason, so I'm bringing this up because if you have a friend that's incarcerated, a loved one or somebody that you care about, take that time, go visit them, especially if you've been incarcerated, so you could see what your people went through, just to see you, so you could appreciate what your people did to you, and you could give them a thank you, for being behind you while you were in prison. Because visitation, how important is visitation to you while you were incarcerated?
You know what? I'm gonna sound like an asshole for this. It wasn't important to me that much because I always had it. So I never got to experience like going X amount of years. Let's just say I know people that have done 15 years without a visit, and then they get one. That visit must mean a lot more to them. For me, I was spoiled. I had family visit me, I had wifey visit me, I had friends visit me, all around. I had strangers I never knew before prison come visit me. Like, I was all around. So I don't think I'm the best person to answer that question,
Yeah, but when people showed up, it took you out of prison.
Oh yeah, I could speak about that, baby. Yeah, I've spoken about that before. How you're in prison and you're in it. There's no world out here at times, guys. When this is for the viewers that never done time. There's no world out here when we're in prison sometimes. Sometimes it's just us in there and that's it. Because it's so severe. The consequences, the life, it's just you ain't got no time to like think about the streets. And when you start getting visits, that's a bubble. It's a bubble of freedom. It's a bubble of safety. It's a bubble of protection. It's a bubble of fantasy. Like, oh my God, I'm not in prison right now. Right now, I don't have to worry about nothing. I could just talk to you. You talk to me. I'm listening to everything. 4 months down the line, 8 months, 12 months down the line, you say something, and the dude says, da-da-da-da, like, oh my God, you remember that? Like, hell yeah, that's how much we pay attention. Hell yeah, I remember everything you ever said in this visiting room, So it does come with a huge bubble of righteousness that you are blessed with in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you're sharing that because a lot of family members, they don't know, how much they impact their loved one by visiting them. So they're taking you out, and man, and fortunately for you, you had a lot, you had a lot of backing, and a lot of people, stood behind you, and you had new people come into your life, and they were able to help you out like that.
And what's crazy is I was denying visits my first couple years in prison, James.
I remember that. That when
because I thought, this is how stupid I was. I was in Tehachapi, and I thought, like, I'm not gonna have my mom drive 3 hours to see me for 1 hour. That didn't make sense to me. But I didn't know I was robbing them of something they wanted, I just was like, I can't have visits. But I could have had them the whole time. I think I did that for like 2 years, 3 years straight. Just told my family I couldn't have, why can't you have them? Oh, these stupid cops. Oh yeah, stupid cops, stupid government. It was easy. They're already thinking like that anyway, But yeah, I denied my family to come see me for a couple years in Tehachapi. Until I realized, oh, guess what? They're gonna ship you somewhere farther. So, until that thought occurred to me, I was like, you know what, you should let them have this. And I never thought that anybody would ever see me farther than that. Visits were not a high priority on my list when I went to prison. They just always came,
Man, yeah. And let me ask you another question about prison. So, can you think about a happy moment that you had in prison, also a sad moment in prison?
Happy, I don't know. Happy, there was a lot of happy moments in prison. Criminal, not criminal, rehabilitated, not rehabilitated. There was all kinds of happy moments for me. But there was one sad moment for me. Now, I never said this on none of the interviews. It's about visits. We're talking about visits. My mom came to visit me, and my sister was driving her. And my sister, I don't know what happened. They were talking, and my sister passes the prison, and they don't know till they're in Nevada. They're going to Vegas or what the fuck are we doing up here? Right, so they turn around. But the point is, they killed a lot of time. So my mom came in when it was like 5 minutes left to visit. Literally like 5 minutes. I don't even think I had 10 minutes out there. And they're like, hey, you got to visit. I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I'm pissed off because, this was Tehachapi. I'm going to say the prison. It was Tehachapi. And there was so much like I'll get off on this cop. Because back then, some cops looked at us with like, fuck this inmate. So we looked at them like, fuck this cop. Like, it is what it is. So I knew me putting on my clothes, I'm like, I'm not even going to make it. The cops are gonna stop it. They're gonna act like assholes. They're gonna do this and that. So I make it in the visiting room, and it's my mom. And I just remember like why'd you even come? Like, it's late. And then she tells me what happened. I'm like, fuck, man. And I was so pissed off, and I couldn't get my head out of it. So we just stayed there quiet for 5 minutes, Yeah.
Man. And it goes back to one of those situations, where your people, they go, they take time out of your day, and and it's, for you, receiving the visit, it might be just, whatever, 3, 4, 5 hours or whatever, the time is allotted, for a visit, but for your family, it might be a day or two, depending on. The families, the girlfriends, the wives. I don't care if you're a Sancha. Like, even the Sanchas, bro, the people that come to visit people in prison sacrifice a lot, but the prisoner doesn't really realize that, Yeah. And it takes a while. It will take years for you. Look, okay, I got all those visits in Tehachapi. I got a lot of visits. I went to Salinas. I got a lot of visits. I was spoiled. I lived in that visiting room. One time I find out my mom takes off her shoes when she comes to see me. I'm infuriated at that time. Yeah.
I'm pissed off. I'm like, what? Who in the fuck makes you take off your shoes? I'm ready to get one of these guys. Like, I'm pissed. I can't believe it. My wife's like, where you been at? I take my shoes off every time. And I was like, I felt so stupid. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't know. You just didn't know. Because they don't talk about it. Yeah. But it's uncomfortable for them. and they get talked to like from a robot. You know, my wife used to get into it with cops here and there. Not all the time. She's not a troublemaker like that, but she would here and there, and she'll be like, "These fools are so disrespectful." She'll be. I have to remind them, I'm not locked up. I pay taxes. I pay for you to work for here, so you're not gonna come at me like that, right? But that's how they treat a family member, like very robotic, you know?
Yeah. And another thing, I'm not sure if they do this in the California state system, but they'll supposedly randomly select you to go search your car. So even before you get into your visit, they'll go run out there. They'll go get a dog, have a dog run through your, and it could be anybody. You know, they might not be suspected of anything.
They use that randomly on the inmate in there too. This is a random cell search. They're not random, you know. But yeah, you're right. They do stuff like that, you know. And for the girls out there, because I know there's a lot of girls. I would assume, you know, there's a lot of the girl prison or prison girl community is strong on the streets and in prison. Then female COs, they'll say stuff, bro. They'll say stuff. They'll give up information. They'll tell them, "Oh, this fool got visits. This fool said he got no visits. This fool, I'm looking at him on the computer right now. He got visits." So the girls the girls that work in the prisons, the female COs, man, they like you know, cause they're a girl. So they're like, oh, nah, they don't have to know that girl, but they'll give her game about the guy. Like, nah, this fool's lying to you. I'm telling you right now, I'll Snapchat this, I'll screenshot this picture right now and show you he got visits, you know? So the girl cops play dirty with our girls on the streets. Like, I'm just saying, for those that are messing around, like, yeah, the girl cops are crazy, man.
Damn, so that's like
because they're not supposed to give that information. This is the point of it. You're not supposed to give no information about an inmate in jail to anybody. But when you get a girl calling you and your heart feels for her and this fool's doing her dirt, that's none of your business. But you guys do it. You know you do it. We know you do it. Everybody knows you do it. Them girl cops are crazy. They'll be like, "That's funny. He don't got no visits with you. He got 2 the other day with this girl." You know what I mean? They're crazy like that. I just trip out. I'm glad all that's over.
Man, that's a trip, man. Yeah, I could really imagine. You know, people are right now that's happening nowadays. People are breaking their tablets. They're disconnecting from that world because you don't want to deal with that.
You don't want to deal with that. And then you got the psycho girls on the streets, like, use your friend's tablet to call me so I can see your contacts. First of all, you ain't seen no contacts, girl. You crazy off the bat. Bye. Yeah. Like you know. But yeah, this is a crazy world. This is a crazy world we live in with the prison game, you know.
Man, that's a trip, man. Man, so how does it feel, man? How does it feel? You know, we got the birds. You know, we got seagulls chirping.
When you say how's it feel, I just feel the wind blowing on me, and prison seems so long ago, and it's not. It's only a last package. When you guys get your last package, that's when I got out. That's literally when I got out. It don't feel like that. It feels like I've been out here. It don't feel like 10 years, but it feels like 5. It feels like I've been out here, you know? Yeah. Cinco de Mayo, every park. Lows, beautiful scenery. You know, some restaurants have music. Sunny like this, people dancing salsa, people chilling. Like, man, it's so much beautiful life out here, bro. Like, all of you guys need to be out here. So just do what you need to do and get home. Start learning your character defects, start learning the causative factors. Learn not to be too smart, because sometimes being too smart, they pick on you. The board picks on you, and they give you denials for no damn reason. You know, so it sucks, because you gotta be, they still gotta think you're stupid, but they gotta think you're smart in this aspect, you know? I've seen college hurt people. Like, you go in there with degrees and the board's like, you want me to give you what, an applause? You want me to applaud your degrees? You want me to applaud something that you should have done your whole life? Hell no, get out, it's denied. Like, the board, sometimes lets the wrong people go and lets the right people stay, you know? And then there's all of us in between that are just coming home, and everybody appreciates it. And everybody loves it. And I don't know, I'm lying, I know one lifer that went back, but this was a long time ago. This is before I got out. Since I got out, I don't know one lifer who came back. And everybody knows this is a small world. We all hear everything, you know? We're all coming out here, we're all making it. The POs, they love us. We're an easy job. They get a lifer on their roster, they're like, woohoo, jackpot, because they don't got to work and they know it. We've established ourselves since 2014, or when they started laying us out by the lots, they started seeing us. And if they were bad to that first generation, I'm gonna tell you one thing, they're not bad to us no more. They know we're gonna succeed, they encourage it, and they see it all day long. All you got is success story. Let me tell you this, one of my buddies got out. He got out. I know this man my whole life in there. He got busted for dead people being in his trunk. That's how he gets arrested. They found people in his trunk, put him in jail. Did the whole 25 with the rest of us. Came home, went to Cal State San Bernardino. In 11 months, that man did so good that Yale accepted him. And there's only one Yale. It's like saying Harvard. There's only one. He got into Yale in less than a year. These are the kind of stories we have out here. We're juvenile lifers. I mean, maybe he wasn't a juvenile lifer, but lifers in general, we're amazing, we're resilient. You let us go and we don't come back. And we strive out here.
Let me ask you, I was gonna ask you something shit and I forgot.
Rack the brain.
Oh, okay. I know I was gonna ask you. Okay, so you know, so I go through the comments. You know, I read most of the comments. I'm always going on because I want to know what people, what goes through their mind. You know, get a lot of good comments, get a lot of way off comments, get some negative comments. You know, it's you know, you never know. You know what we're gonna be getting.
For the record, people, I don't read the comments. I'm just too busy. I don't even. That's James's cha-cha. Hit me with it.
So okay, so you know, I read some comments and people are putting like, yeah, he'll probably be back like in 6. I gave him 6 months, or he's going back, and why?
I hope to. That's what we're striving for. That's what I'm striving for. I'm striving to go back to prisons, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good from where I'm at. It takes time. You know, there's all kinds of papers that got to get signed. There's all kinds of this and that. But we do get to go back to prisons. And yeah, I would like that. I would like to go back to prisons and see my peers and encourage them to come home and give them whatever knowledge I can on the things they need to do to get out like me. So you're right, prison person. Yeah, you're right. I plan to go back to prison.
Hey, so stay tuned. You know, Joe's gonna be going.
Tuned.
He's gonna be going into
I'll
the
have
prison.
James pull up and videotape me walking in that bad boy and see how the COs treat me. Put your shoes on. Oh, got you, sir. There you go. I'll do this. You know. Yeah.
And you know what? And on the topic right now, visiting prison. When you were in prison, when other lifers, former lifers, were coming to the prison, did them coming into the prison, did it have an impact on you?
Hell yeah, it did. Hell yeah, it did. I remember Bobby Garcia. You know, people know who he is out here. Bobby came back, and hearing his calmness, his demeanor, his tranquility, right? I wanted that. Because I always look at myself like I could be calm, but he was like on some super chill stuff, you know? And I was like, damn, and he didn't seem abnormal, you know? He seemed like a regular dude. And I was like, okay, he went home. And he would tell me too, yeah, you're gonna get out, I'm like, okay, cool. And this is one of my peers telling me that, and it felt like normal, like these are the steps. Like again, how I feel when I got out, these are just the steps going into the future. That's how I felt meeting that former lifer, and it felt good, you know? It felt good. And he wrote me a support letter too, so not only do you encourage them in there, but they get to meet you. So when they meet you, like, hey, here's my address, right here. So that's another support letter for them, for somebody else on the streets, because like you just talked about in the beginning, a lot of people don't have a lot of support. So when you don't got a lot of support, obviously there might be some cuts in the relationship of the family. You don't got those letters either. So when someone comes back, if I go back and I see a room full of lifers, I'll write all of them a support letter. That's just off the top.
So I think that's a good idea. If you have somebody that's incarcerated, they're a lifer, and they need a letter, to show their character, or just just give them support. Type up a letter. There's programs out there if you don't know how to write or you're not a good writer that'll assist you. You just give them some ideas like what you want to put in that letter. It'll type that letter up for you, sign it, and send it over to the the Board of Paroles. If you do a Google search on California Board of Parole hearings, it'll give you an email address where you could send it. You could send it to the warden of that prison, or however you need to get it over there, and it'll definitely help your people out. It can't hurt them, if it's something positive. So if you want them to come home, that's a good way that you could show support, to get your loved one home, because people are coming home, and Joe is one of those people that he's live in the flesh.
Yes, absolutely, everything he said. But I was talking about the people that don't have support. Remember, we were talking about you have support. But now imagine they don't got family. Like, their family just don't mess with them because they were scumbags.
Yeah.
I'll write anybody a support letter. You're in there doing life, I want you out, I don't know if you get out from one little letter, but I'm doing my part in it. But what you just said right now reminded me of something. I was taking the bus. Now, like, people don't really talk out here, so I was talking to the bus driver, and we started chopping it up. We had a full-blown conversation. And he's like, what? They let you out? And you could tell he's a homie. He's a bus driver, but he's a homie. He's tripping out. He's like, how in the hell did you get out? So he tells me, I got a cousin in there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, my cousin got life. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Give him a support letter. Like, the door's open. We're coming home. Bus driver busts my ears, bro. He said, I will never give this fool a support letter. And I'm like, oh, you don't talk to him? He's like, yeah, he calls me all the time on the phone. Right?
Yeah.
Right, but it blew my mind that this is your cousin, first of all. And you won't give him a support letter. And you talk to this dude all the time. Oh, yeah, I tell him I'm going to give it to him. That's what he told me. And I couldn't believe it, bro. It hurt my heart. I don't even know who his cousin is. But it hurt my heart to hear this bus driver. And there's a bus driver. He gets good money. You would send your cousin some money. This bus driver is a scumbag, deadbeat. Like, he's on the outside scumbagging it. He wouldn't write his cousin a support letter. And I tried my hardest. Whoever you are in there, if you've seen this and you know that's your cousin, I tried my hardest to get him to write you a letter. And he was just like, I don't think so. I was like, man, this is a cold-hearted dude, But anyways, that's family.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. That's somebody's family right there.
And right now you mentioned that, it triggered a memory in my head, So I had a friend that was in federal prison, and he would always ask his brother for magazines. All he wanted was magazines.
And never got them.
Never got it. He's still waiting. They're in the mail. He's waiting for them. Those magazines never.
And you know what the sad thing? Like, if the brother's younger, he'll pass away and he'll roll up with a magazine put in the coffin. Like, there you go, bro. You don't need that when you're gone. Show them the love now, people. They need the love now, Just like you need the love now.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what? I want to go ahead and thank Joe, for agreeing to meet up with me and do this update. Everything's on the up and up. He's doing great things. Got that whip. Got that California driver license.
Got the caddy.
Yeah. So, like I said around here, but before they said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and enjoy the beach. We're out here. It's not too bad. There's not that many people out here. I got my family out here. I got to spend some time with them. And like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out.
That's life's out, baby. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that.
And with that, we're out.